this man don't come again. Oh, Professor Wale Soyinka has hit hard on the obedience. He said that some obedience were foolishly used by those pushing for interim government in Nigeria. According to Sahara Reporters, Nobel laureate Professor Wale Soyinka has insisted that some supporters of the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Mr. Peter Obi, in the 2023 presidential election, popularly known as obedience, are fascists. The literal icon describes some members of the obedience movement as appalling to think that only governments and its agencies could be fascist. Comparing the obedience movement to that of NSAS, the Nobel laureate said the NSAS movement was built on truth, but the obedience movement was the mobilization youth to defend something that is not true. He said some supporters of the former Anambra state governor claiming to be radical were only playing the script of some other people which had been designed before the February 25 presidential election. According to literary icon, some people had schemed to tilt the country towards having an interim government long before the election, adding that some Obi supporters who thought they were radical were being foolish and playing the script of others. He also said that if some obedience were knowledgeable, they would be able to put two and two together. He said they can go back to the internet, open their dictionary of abuses and start all over again. I will come back and tell them that you are mumu foolish. You were not playing your scripts. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? All the Agberus that were doing all manner of things, they would not see all of those things. You won't see that. The process of the election, this man is not even bothered. He's still talking about the obedience. He's still talking that he wrote his scripts. And I'm sure the way Nigeria is now, we all know when this obedience movement started and the problems that we have been faced with in this country. I'm sure they started before this obedience movement. And where is Nigeria today? Is it the obedience that have made Nigeria not to be where it ought to be, with the politicians that are corrupt left, right and center, and the ones that are pursuing them, and the ones that are arresting and investigating, suspending, sacking and all of that? They are part of the people who have brought this country to its knees. And you can hear this man talking. Of course, a lot of people believe that Wale Soyinka has lost his respect because people were expecting him to speak on how the election went, how some people were deprived, disenfranchised, not to have voted. No, they don't see anything as, they don't see anything wrong in that. And you want people to respect you, and you expect people to take you serious. No, it's not going to be. It is just really unfortunate. Soyinka is asking for another favor from Remi Tinubu. And it was even later that Nigerians got to know, because maybe some people know, but majority of Nigerians didn't know that he benefited in one way or the other from Tinubu. So people were like, and that's why it hurts a lot of people, that how can this man be talking? How can, when looking at the antecedents of Tinubu, looking at the baggages he's been carrying, and looking at what Soyinka stood for, people never expected it. But later people began to say, it's like you people didn't get to know this man very well. That this man has been under Tinubu, they call themselves friends. Nigerians didn't know that. It was just this period that Nigerians got to know about it. And people now say, oh, I see. We never knew. When somebody believes that he's looking for favor from Remi Tinubu, he will get non-stick set of cooking pots. The former was aluminium. It must have been burning soup by now. Soyinka hustle for your pay, or else nothing for you. Now the bastards and lunatic generation in Nigeria will start calling the intelligent man names and all kinds. Jagabanji CFR 1-man battalion. Ajanoku. No one. Even Obidiots, their candidate is also foolish. That is not true, Professor Wale Soyinka. With all due respect, Obedience actually threw out a man's hands, voted for their preferred candidates. I totally disagree that we were used to push for an interim government. And you are forgetting that Even before the election, El Rufai came out and he said some cabals in the villa, they were pushing for interim government even before this whole thing started. So how do you expect people to respect this kind of person that calls himself a professor, Wole Soyinka? That obedience were created to push a narrative for interim government. Why the APC themselves were accusing themselves of that, and you just turn around and be saying something different? It's so ridiculous and painful when you hear some things happening in this country. And that's why you see a lot of people, if I not cannot beat them, the best thing is for me to join them, and that is what that's the effect of what is happening. Well, but somebody is really against what he said, or not even, or disagreeing with what he said. INEC and the Kaaba stood on the way. Please, sir, we respect you so much, and we too deserve some respect. Obedience are not fascists. We are responsible, and we mean well for the country. You think they are going to be listening to you? Let everybody go with what he or she believes. You think by saying that he has already made up his mind, and that's what he believes, and there's nobody that can change it, and what you believe is what you believe. Let him hold Beaver's machine responsible. Professor indeed, the most brilliant set of people I have ever met. Okay, educated tribal lord, many of his supporters are not some. The heat is much on Professor Beavers. Give them his an attack. Obedient are still under learning, and for them to meet up with a standard that is 8 years program. Well spoken, Professor. Soyinka is the biggest fool in Yoruba land. Anytime he's broke, he will attack Obedient to get attention from his paymasters. Wole Soyinka rest. Let a sleeping dog lie. Leave Obedience alone and let them leave you alone. The educational system set aside the study of people and history of Nigeria has done the next generation more harm than good. Cultism, cultic activities, and all the evils emerging on daily basis, emanating from the same source, cultist activities and traceable from same persons as the grandfather. What are you talking about? Shoyinka, take up your writer and hit it back to your own mouth and chew it well and swallow it before the magic will tell you what happened to the criminal stolen mandates. Oga, I thought say by now you will be grinding here to hear for your achievements. Why raise dust again? It seems Shoyinka has not even learned his lessons. This time around, his professorship will be stripped from him if he continues to insult the sensibilities of the obedient. Is Wole Soyinka not foolish to have engaged himself in a protest to move Goodluck Jonathan from office in preference to the Buhari you so much believed in? Wole Soyinka's unruly behavior is the reason why Nigeria has been plunged into bad debts of 99 trillion naira. The Buhari Soyinka so much believe in has disappeared. Disappeared to where? So guys, that's what we see. What's your own take? Let's know in the comments section.